It's now time for the procrastination lesson. This one is a killer for all of us. I'm sure you have experienced it before, and well, at the time it might feel good, but in the long run, procrastination kills everything. If you procrastinate about going to the doctor about a pain in your chest, you may very well be dead the next day. That's drastic, but it's true in some cases. It may not be all that serious, but it's better to check than to be sorry, right? Procrastination is the killer of careers, and especially business as well. It could be the killer of your relationships too. Procrastination is the killer that must be killed. Just stop procrastinating now. How may you ask? Well, I taught you about being in the present moment in the previous module. And in the previous lesson, I talk about habits. These are two of the factors that go into preventing yourself from procrastinating. But still, most of us suffer from procrastination. So, in this lesson, I will give you some more keys to stopping procrastination in your life and being more productive. When a hot steaming steak gets brought to you on a fresh hot plate, you don't wait till it gets cold to eat it, right? No, you don't. It should be the same when you get a new task or obligation. Don't wait until the task gets cold. Take care of it as soon as you get the chance. I know in some situations you may not be able to jump on it until the next day or couple of days because other more pressing tasks, but definitely don't put it off until the last moment. This goes for anything in your life. Also, think about the prioritization that I mentioned in the previous lesson. Prioritize everything in your life and make sure to stick to it. How does being in the present moment help you stop procrastination? Of course, it's not as simple as just being in the present moment. Procrastination is a tough opponent to beat. One of the ways that I've personally defeated it is by asking myself, what happens if I don't complete this task? What will other people think of me if I don't complete this task? What will my boss think of me? What will I think of myself if I don't complete this task? Ask these questions. All of these are pertinent questions that you should really ask yourself. By asking yourself these questions, it will motivate you to follow through with what you need to get done. No one else in your life can get your tasks done for you. Other people might be able to motivate you or encourage you, or in worst case scenarios, get angry at you. But sometimes getting angry is a good thing, right? If you are not doing your tasks, this is sure to happen. But in reality, you are the only one that can complete the tasks by taking action on it. There's one other tip that I would like to share with you to help you defeat your procrastination. And it comes from an amazing book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I will be citing this book at least a few more times in this course because it really made a big impact in my life. So if you'd like to get a better understanding of what the book talks about, then I highly recommend reading it if you haven't already. It's the last rule or agreement in the book, and it's called always do your best. Nothing more, nothing less. If you try to do more than your best, then you're stretching yourself too thin. If you try to do less than your best, then you know that you can definitely do better. You're just being lazy if you're not doing your best. You may not be consciously doing this on purpose, but in reality, it is just lazy. If you do your true best, then you know that you're reaching your potential. So when it comes to procrastination and using this agreement, you can see how this works in motivating yourself to get off your ass and do the thing that you need to get done. You know when you're not meeting your full potential. You know when you're working your ass off and you burn out. And you know when you're actually doing your true best and stretching yourself just a little to where you're not burning out. That's what you should always strive for. And remember the story about my anxiety? It's because I was doing more than what I could handle. One other factor to this is when you are still in your comfort zone and you are not stretching yourself just a little, then it increases your chances of procrastination. Without a bit of stretching, you stagnate. So, in order to find that zone where you're stretching yourself just a little, you need to experiment with either the amount of time that you work on a certain project, your deadlines, the times that you work, and the times of the projects that you take on. There are many factors that go into this, so you will have to experiment with it and see what works best. Another thing you have to think about is when you're creating a habit, at first it's very difficult to start. You get frustrated with whatever the task is that you're working on, and maybe your energy is not as much because you get tired easily from the task. You're just not used to it. But after working on it consistently, whatever the task is, it becomes much easier and much quicker to handle, to finish. You exert a lot less energy on the task that you've been working on for a long time, that you've created a solid habit for, than on a brand new task, which is, very new, so it's a lot harder to work on. No matter how difficult the task is, if it becomes habitual, then it becomes a lot easier. So you really have no excuse to procrastinate. Just realize the factors that are making you procrastinate. Use the agreement of always do your best to weigh whether you truly have enough energy to do the tasks that you need to get done. But don't lie to yourself about how you feel and how much energy you have. If you lie to yourself, you will feel bad about your actions or inactions. Be honest. Do what you need to do, and then after you get your task done, you can actually do whatever you feel like doing. You can apply this with anything in your life. And I know that you mainly signed up for this course for helping you out with your reading habits. But this is fundamental to get down before you start even working on your reading habits. Knowing your mindset and knowing the productivity skills will be your foundation along with the reading habits so that you can apply more easily what you learn. I want to emphasize that avoiding procrastination, or should I say plowing through procrastinating, running it down, running it over, stomping on it, also applies to getting as much reading done as you possibly can. This applies to any task, any habit. I know that sometimes when I read, I'm actually not in the mood to read initially. And I think that's my procrastination speaking to me, partly. It's saying, oh no, you can go off and do something else. You could watch a movie, you could scroll through your Instagram. You don't need to do that right now. But I'd say 90% of the time when I actually pick up the book and start reading, when I'm not really necessarily in the mood, I will actually continue to read for at least 10 to 20 pages. It's just a matter of getting started. Just a matter of getting started is easily attained by using the 5-minute rule from Atomic Habits by James Clear. Whatever the activity you're trying to start, just focus on that first 5 minutes. Just get started. Most of the time, you will continue to do the activity even after the 5 minutes. Think about it. You're not going to just go for a run for 5 minutes, are you? Probably not, because you've already taken the time to put on your clothes, go outside or go to the gym, whatever it may be, and you started running. You're not going to just stop after 5 minutes. When you get started, you'll continue, whatever the task is. You will think, oh, I'm already started. Why don't I just continue? So you will gain motivation by just starting, just showing up. This is an amazing feeling, and I hope that you can experience this, and you will if you actually get out there and try. There are actually tons and tons of other tips about how to push through procrastination, and I could write a whole book about it. I could write a whole course about it, make a bunch of modules and stuff like that. But I don't want to delude the main purpose of this course by adding too much about different tips to defeat procrastination. I've given you the most powerful ones that have worked for me and other clients. By working hard on the tips I've already given you, you definitely will be able to defeat procrastination. So focus on the powerful tips. And actually, that's what we do when we read through books, which we will get into in the study module. We don't actually focus on every page of the book. We try to pull out those little tips here, actually the most powerful tips here and there. And that is what makes the whole big difference when you read a book. It depends on where your focus is. So here's one last powerful tip that you can immediately apply in your life. And honestly, if you apply these 4 tips in this lesson for productivity and avoiding procrastination, then you will be set for life. The environment and the people that you surround yourself with every day affects how productive you are and whether you will procrastinate on a particular task. The environment that you create at home allows you to be very productive or procrastinate. Same goes for your office. What I mean by this is, first of all, your environment must be comfortable enough without any distractions of any kind, such as TVs or other electronic devices, in order for you to get the work done. Second of all, things that inspire you to accomplish things should be visible, like pictures or posters, words, anything like that. On my bookshelf is actually one of my motivations. When I walk into my office, my bookshelf is right behind my desk. So if I want to turn around and grab a book that I need to reference or something like that, I can just easily grab it. So make it really easy for you to motivate yourself to continue. Put motivational quotes up on the wall, whatever it may be. Find your motivation through the environment that you put yourself in. Okay? Thirdly, before you start reading or working on something, disconnect yourself from your phone and the internet, if possible. I know in some cases you will need your internet in order to get some work done, But in other cases, when there's no need for the internet, you shouldn't even activate it. Otherwise, you will be tempted to open up your email, or if notifications are popping up, you'll be tempted to tap on those, especially if it's like social media or YouTube or something. If you have to use your phone or laptop and you don't need the internet, just turn it off. By taking the temptation away, you won't be able to be tempted by it. Okay? And you will be able to be much more productive. Okay? And lastly, if for some reason you don't really have a private area to work in your house or even at your office, you must try to make do with what you have by either scheduling time with your family so that you can have the time to focus without interruptions. Or if that's not possible, you could buy some noise canceling earphones. You could also go to a quiet cafe or co-working space near your house if that's an option for you. I love using the option of working at a cafe personally. I also use the option of noise canceling headphones because, well, other things could be going on around you, but all you hear is maybe the music that's playing in your headphones, and that's really a good way to focus. Because when you sit down to work, you really want to put all of your energy and focus into the work that you're trying to do. Okay, and also, just find a place that you're really comfortable. For me, cafes are comfortable. I don't know about you, but cafes really are comfortable. The ambient noise really does help you focus. So yeah, now I want you to write a list as long as you can about all the things that make you procrastinate, whether it's externally or internally. After writing your list and realizing what makes you procrastinate, then it will help you to be more aware when you start procrastinating and realize that you shouldn't, and maybe try to cancel those out of your life. And if you notice something new that has been creating procrastination in your life, write it down on your list. Keep your list handy. Maybe make a document or a note or something like that. Your major goal here is to bring up those points of procrastination. That way, you can obliterate them. The more you are aware, the easier it will be to eliminate the things you don't want in your life. You want to be the best version of yourself as possible. So start being more productive now and cancel out the things that distract you. Send your list to matt@bookmatic.com.